Now, as we've been reporting this morning, there was better news for the people of Wagga Wagga overnight, with waters now receding, and our reporter George Roberts is there. He joins us now. Good morning, George.
Good morning.
George,
now, we're on the banks here. Oh, sorry.
No, you continue.
We're on the banks here of the Murrumbidgee, standing right on the levee here. Now, this is where authorities were worried last night that this levee might not hold, and they were concerned that the water level could get up above what was able to be held by this levee. It's dropped down now to 10.2 metres, which is sounding much better. And we're standing here with Federal MP Michael McCormack, a Nationals MP, who is the federal member for this area. Now, Mr McCormack, you must be feeling pretty happy about the water level dropping. Do you think this levee will hold?
Oh, yes, I do. So far, so good. It looks as though Wagga Wagga has escaped a bullet. Certainly, look, it's been a nervous time overnight for engineers and for people alike who've got homes and businesses at risk. The levee looks as though it's held. The integrity of the levee is held up. Obviously, there'll be questions asked, and there'll be reports needed to be done to make sure that we strengthen and heighten this levee in the time to come for future possible floods. But look, the construction of the levee in 1962 was obviously a good one, and of course it's been upgraded over the years. But so far, so good, George.
So it seems like central Wagga has escaped a bullet, but there are still communities across the river here in North Wagga and around this area who have faced some devastation. What's it going to be like for them over the coming days, and when do you expect they'll be able to get back into their homes?
Oh, look, that could be some days. And look, our hearts and thoughts go out to those people of North Wagga. Their homes and businesses have been inundated with a torrent of water. It's a dreadful shame for those people. In some cases, they've lost everything bar the shirts on their backs, and dreadful for them. Their damage bill is going to be very high. The mopping up is going to take weeks and many months of heartache and despair. That situation has been replicated in other areas of the Riverina as well. There's been a lot of small towns which a similar situation has happened, and obviously the damage bill is going to be extraordinarily high.
So, as the local MP, the Prime Minister's coming here today, I presume you'd expect, or you'd be hoping, that Julia Gillard might open her chequebook and give some assistance to this community?
Well, the road damage bill alone for local and state governments is going to be $500 million. That's $500 million that wasn't planned, wasn't budgeted, and so obviously there's going to be requiring some federal assistance. I'm sure the Prime Minister's not going to come empty-handed. Look, she will see the situation. She'll be doing a flyover, as I understand, and she'll be meeting and greeting people. And look, I've always said that the best insurance against flood damage is to have a surplus. Unfortunately, we don't have one of those in the federal government at the moment, but certainly the money is going to be required to come from somewhere, and local and state coffers just aren't going to be able to fit the bill in this regard.
Last time they instituted a flood levy to pay for the damage from Queensland and the New South Wales floods before then, some could say that this is an argue for that flood levy, which the Nationals opposed. Wouldn't you kind of accept that perhaps if these events keep happening, there is a need to have an ongoing kind of flood levy or some kind of fund?
Some kind of fund is called a surplus. We need to have a surplus. We need to get the budget back in the black. Look, this damage hasn't been as bad, thankfully, as the Grantham and the Queensland floods. That flash flooding caused untold billions of dollars worth of damage to Queensland. Now, we haven't had the huge loss of life. We haven't had the huge loss of public infrastructure, but we have got a big damage bill, and that's going to need to come from shire councils, from state government, and Barry O'Farrell is well aware of that, and I'm sure he'll be in contact with the Prime Minister this morning, if it hasn't happened overnight, to call for assistance federally.
Now, after this today, once this levee is cleared and been given the all clear as safe, the state of emergency will be lifted across the town here, I understand. What's next from here? There's Griffith that's facing some evacuations, and I guess downstream, which is still your area, there are some communities which are facing uncertainty. What's next?
Oh, well, there's issues at Narandra, Leeton and Griffith as well as Darlington Point. Now, there's a public meeting at 1 o'clock at the Griffith Regional Theatre today, where where the community members will be shown aerial shots to allay their fears. There's been some scuttlebutt on social media sites last night that Griffith was going to go underwater. That's not true. They've got the situation well in hand, but evacuations have taken place overnight for the safety of people. Ugali and Hanwood were evacuated in some places the other night, but certainly certainly there are areas of Griffith which are under threat, and the SES has done everything to make sure that the people's safety and their lives are of paramount importance, and that, look, we can always replace belongings and furniture and houses, but we can't replace lives. And so anybody out there listening and watching needs to know that they should follow every direction order, every evacuation order, and certainly don't drive through floodwaters.
Michael McCormack, thank you very much.
Thanks, George.
And so that's Michael McCormack there, the local federal MP and Nationals MP. And as he was just saying, that there are still some communities facing uncertainty and needing to heed those warnings and get out of their homes if they're told to evacuate by the emergency authorities.
George Roberts in Wagga Wagga, thank you very much.